But we're going to go ahead and move on here to the Tampa Bay Lightning. This is an interesting team, to say the least. Talk about star power. They've got Nikita Kucherov, Steven Stamkos, Braden Point, Victor Hedman, Ryan McDonough, Vasilevsky in net. The list goes on. What do you guys think of the Lightning? Initial impressions. Karim, we'll start with you.
I mean, you got one, probably, arguably the best winger in the NHL right now, playing on your team, with a bunch of other top 30 players in the next coming lines underneath him. Just the offensive firepower is insane. And then pair that with Vasilevsky in net, where he can, when he's hot, man. So they're a scary team. I hope they get knocked out early just so the Avs have a chance.
Yeah, it's a monster. I want him out.
Yeah.
All right, Zach, what do you think of the Lightning?
They're probably one of my top teams in the NHL. Definitely are the top team in the NHL. And for me, one player a lot of people forget about on the Lightning is what's his name? God damn it, I forgot him.
We'll move into Marshall. We'll come back to in a second.
It's Alex Killorn.
Oh, you got it.
It's Alex Killorn.
Oh, yeah. Solid winger.
Yeah, he's a solid winger. A lot of people forget about him. Not that the Lightning really need an X factor because they are so stacked, but this is a guy that I think has taken good steps in the past. He's 30 years old and can still play. I think he's actually kind of trade bait in the future for them as well.
Yeah, definitely a guy that gets lost in kind of all that star power over there, but a real solid player. Marshall, what do you think of the Lightning?
Another guy that kind of gets lost in the mix is Anthony Cirelli. In my opinion, he's a consistent Selke nominee.
I think the best third-line center in hockey.
Yeah. You guys have already touched on it. This team is loaded with offensive firepower, but like we were just talking about the Rockets, unlike the Rockets, they have depth for days here. Even their second goalie, like Curtis McElhaney, is probably a starter on some bottom NHL teams. So they do have that 1-2 punch at goalie. They have the absolute offensive superstardom that you need to, take it over the top, and they have a very solid defense, starting with, in my opinion, the best defenseman in hockey. This team is, I'm just going to go out and say it, is my Stanley Cup favorite this year. Especially,
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, especially getting knocked out like in the fashion that they did last season in the first round. This team is out for revenge
it's going to be
this season, in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, yep. I think they have the best goalie in the league. I think they have the best defenseman in the league, and I think they have the best winger in the league. And then they've also got what I think is 2 top 10 to 15 centers. So the star power is insane. Talk about depth. I want to make fun of them a little bit here for giving up a first-round pick for Barclay Goodrow, but if your first-round pick, if your fourth liner is worth a first-round pick, that's a solid fourth liner. Although I don't think he really is worth a first-round pick.
If he can bring you a cup, if he's that X factor for a cup, then good on them. But
yeah,
I guess I got a question for Billy about the Lightning, though, real quick. If you're comparing defenses from our last podcast, Tampa Bay and Carolina, they're both so stacked. Who do you think's the better defense?
Sergachev, Shattenkirk. I still like Carolina. Mm-hmm. I think when you've got Hedman and McDonough, that top pairing maybe slightly edges the Hurricanes, because I like Hedman more than either, but I think Slavin and Hamilton are both slightly better than McDonough, so it's close, but with Hedman I'll give the edge to the Lightning there. Second pairing, if you're comparing those, I'm going to give a slight edge to the Canes. Brady Shea I think is better than either of Sergachev or Shattenkirk, but I also think that's close. And then talk about the third pairing, I think that's where the Canes take this away. You know, Sammy Vatanen and whoever else you decide to play, whether it's Edmondson, Hayden Fleury, whatever. I think they're both better than Cernak and Shen. So definitely this is another elite defense core, but I'm going to give the edge to the Canes here. What are your thoughts on that?
It was really close to me too, but yeah, you're right. You just brought it up. That third line is what really differentiates these two defenses. really, Carolina could cycle like 8D if they wanted to.
Yeah,
a couple of these defensemen on here. Zach Bogosian's been around the league a bunch. I don't think he's really a reliable defenseman at this point in his career. But yeah, like you guys said, the Hurricanes are stacked up. They could play 8 defense if they needed to. So I'd give the
Lightning's defense is definitely not a liability.
Oh, definitely not. Not even a
with
little
the
bit.
Hurricanes at the best in the league. The Lightning are right up there.
That was me comparing
5.
seventh defenseman.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm just saying here, the Lightning's D is absolutely phenomenal still, especially just the fact that you have Victor Hedman. Like I said, my consistent Norris Trophy winner. Even though he's probably not going to win it this year, I think Victor Hedman's the best defenseman in the league. If I were to start a franchise with one defenseman, it would be Victor Hedman.
I'd pick Cale Makar, but I love Cale Makar. Like I said, he's one of my 2 favorite players in sports. So,
I mean, fair enough.
All right.
Yes, but Victor Hedman has been there and done that.
Yeah, he's definitely more experienced. Today, he's the better player, but I think Makar might pass him, but we'll have to wait and see a couple of years on that one. Let's get into our verdicts on the Lightning. Karim, contender or pretender?
Dude, yeah, I don't know how you don't say it. They're a contender.
Is this an easy one?
Yeah,
This is a very easy one.
I don't think I have to say anything. Just
Nothing more to elaborate on. Zach, contender or pretender?
Yeah, clearly a contender. Clearly.
Guys, I'm going with pretender.
Oh yeah, they don't show it in the playoffs. So
they were my Stanley Cup winner in our Avalanche podcast bracket.
Yeah.
But no, I'm going to say they're pretender. Psych.
I agree. All on the same page here. I mean, how do you? Is there even an argument for the Lightning as a pretender? Yes, they did lose in the first round in a sweep last year. I don't think that repeats.
That's just more fuel in the fire.
Yeah, I think they're gonna come out angry. They're the most talented team in the NHL.
I think their windows.
Most people would agree.
I think their window's closing. I think they know that. I think they're gonna bounce.
Yeah, I think this is the easiest verdict we've had so far on the show. The Lightning are a contender.
What?